Daf Kuf Yudalet Amud Beis will begin Daf Kuf Yudalet Amud Aleph, 6 lines from the bottom of the 2 dots. We learned in the Mishnah, we had a machlokes Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Kiva. Rabbi Shmuel said that Chelvei Shabbos are created by Yom Kippurim, that the chalovim of Shabbos, from the Talmud of the Korban Talmud of Shabbos, if Yom Kippur falls out on Sunday, before the Kfiyas Luch that was possible, you can be makriv the chalovim of Shabbos and Yom Kippur. But if Yom Kippur falls out on Friday, you can't be makriv the chalovim of Yom Kippur on Shabbos. Shabbos has a greater kedusha than Yom Kippur, he holds, and therefore you can be makriv Shabbos on Yom Kippur, but not Yom Kippur on Shabbos. Rabbi Kiva, Aimer Loishal Shabbos created by Yom Kippurim, Loishal Yom Kippurim created by Shabbos. Rabbi Kiva says no, neither way. You can't be makriv Shabbos on Yom Kippur and not Yom Kippur on Shabbos. So what's the limud? Where do they learn this out? So Zok the Gemara, Ton Rabbanan Oila Shabbos b'Shabbat. Now, this pasuk is extra because the Torah tells you what is a korban that you're makriv for Shabbos. Why does it afterwards seem to repeat and say Oila Shabbos b'Shabbat? The oil of Shabbos you're makriv on Shabbos. So we darshan the extra pasuk, Oila Shabbos, as if it says Oila Shabbos b'Shabbos, to tell you that you're makriv a korban of Shabbos on another day that's called Shabbos. But we also have a miyut that's b'Shabbatoi on its day and not another day. So therefore, limit al chelvei Shabbos shekrim Yom Kippur. That teaches you that Chelvei Shabbos, the korban of Shabbos, the chalovim, you can be makriv on another day that's called Shabbos. You can be makriv on Yom Kippur. You might think even the korban of Yom Kippur, if it falls out on Friday, you can be makriv on Shabbos. On its day, Divrei Rabbi Shmuel, you can be only makriv on Shabbos, the korban of Shabbos, not the korban of another day. So therefore, the korban of Shabbos, you can be makriv Oila Shabbos b'Shabbos on another day that's called Shabbos. On Yom Kippur, if it falls out on Sunday. But Oila Shabbos b'Shabbatoi, you can only be makriv the korban of Shabbos, you can only be makriv on Shabbos the korban of its day. That's the korban of Shabbos. So the korban of Yom Kippur, if it falls out on Friday, you cannot be makriv on Shabbos. That's how Rabbi Shmuel darshans the pasuk. Rabbi Kiva is going to darshan it in a similar way and have both limudim, but not to be marbe Yom Kippur. But he darshans it as follows: Rabbi Kiva, Oila Shabbos b'Shabbat, limer al chelvei Shabbos yekreim b'Yontiv. Not if Yom Kippur falls out on Motzei Shabbos on Sunday. Rather on Yontiv, either you can be makriv the chalovim of Shabbos. If you haven't been makriv on Shabbos, you can be makriv Motzei Shabbos on Yontiv, even though it's Yontiv. Yachal ab Yom Kippurim, you might think also Yom Kippur Tamad Leimer b'Shabbat type. So no, Yom Kippur you cannot be makriv. You cannot be makriv on Shabbos on Yom Kippur. You have to be makriv it. Shabbos has to be makriv. You have to be makriv it on its day and not on a different day. So Rabbi Kiva learns it to teach you that Shabbos you can be makriv on Yom Tov, but not on Yom Kippur. On Yom Kippur you can't. So what's underlying this machlekes and how to darshan the pasuk? Kishatim said laimely Rabbi Shmuel the dorm the Dovis created by Yom Tov. According to Rabbi Shmuel, in the dorm v'nedovis you can be makriv those type of korbanos on Yom Tov. Those are voluntary korbanos. Now you can be makriv it any other day. Nevertheless, he holds it's still mutter to be makriv them on Yom Tov. Even though you can be makriv it a different day, it's still mutter to be makriv on Yom Tov. So therefore, if he holds you can be makriv nedarim nedavos on Yom Tov, so I don't need the pasuk to tell me that Oila Shabbos you can be makriv the Oila Shabbos on Yom Tov. I wouldn't need the pasuk for that. Madach, even voluntary korbanos that can be brought any time, I can be makriv on Yom Tov. Certainly the chalovim of Shabbos you can be makriv on Yom Tov. So v'chiyas across. So what do I need the ribu for? Not for Yom Tov, Yom Kippur. To teach you that the Oila Shabbos you can be makriv on Yom Kippur. L'divrei Rabbi Kiva in the dorm the Dovis ain't creating Yom Tov. But according to Rabbi Kiva in the dorm the Dovis you're not makriv on Yom Tov, and therefore I do need the pasuk to teach me yontiv. So I can be marba only the lesser chiddush. I can be only marba yontiv. I don't have any ribui to teach me Yom Kippur. According to Rabbi Shmuel, I don't need the pasuk for yontiv. So what do I have the ribui for Yom Kippur? But according to Rabbi Kiva, I need the pasuk for yontiv, so I don't have a ribui for Yom Kippur. Amar Rav Zera, Ki Avinu b'Bavel, he says when he was in Bavel, before he went to Eretz Yisrael, Hava Amrinan Hadasanya, that I thought that it says in the Brisa, Yom Kippur Shechal Yeser Shabbos, that it says in the Brisa, that if Yom Kippur falls out on Friday, Loi Hayu Toikin, they were not Toikeya, they didn't blow the shofar. Normally on Erev Shabbos, you blow the shofar to be Mavdil, and to tell people not to do Malocha and to be Mavdil from a Yom Chol to Shabbos. But he said that says in the Brisa Yom Kippur, if Yom Kippur falls on every Shabbos, lo yotek. Might say Shabbos lo yom avdilim, and then if it falls out on Motzei Shabbos, they didn't make Havdalah. You make Havdalah, whether it's Holocaust, whether it's Shmona Esrei, or either one or both. You only make that Havdalah, your Mavdil, from a Yom Kodesh to Yom Chol, from a day of Kodesh to Chol, or from a day of greater Kedusha to lesser Kedusha. So and it says, but however, if Yom Kippur falls out on Motzei Shabbos, you don't make Havdalah. You don't make Havdalah in such a case. I thought, Divrei Koli, that everyone would agree to that. But Kisa Likna Lahasam, when I went to Eretz Yisrael, Ashkel Yehuda Breder, Vishimin Pasi, the Yosevik Omar, he said that Bryce is Rabbi Kiva. That's only going according to Rabbi Kiva. The Rabbi Shmuel, because according to Rabbi Shmuel, that would not be the case. He holds that the Chelvei Shabbos, you can be Makriv Yom Kippur. So Liska, you should blow the shofar on Erev Shabbos, even though it's Yom Kippur. Ki Hecha, the Lahaviyada, the Chelvei Shabbos, Krevim Yom Kippur. That they should know that it's going from a lesser Kedusha to a greater Kedusha, that Chelvei Shabbos Akrem B'Yom Kippurim. That the Yom Kippur, if Yom Kippur is Erev Shabbos, the Chalavim of Yom Kippur, you can be Makriv on Shabbos. And then they'll know also that Chelvei Shabbos, and another year they'll be aware that Chelvei Shabbos, you can be Makriv on Yom Kippur. So they should blow the shofar, that they should be aware that there is a difference in the Kedusha between the 2 days. And therefore, in the future, they also will know that Chelvei Shabbos, you can be Makriv on Yom Kippur. And I said no. That in fact, this price is L'divrei Kol. Kohanim's reason hey. Kohanim's reason hey. And therefore, we don't have to blow the shofar so that the Kohanim should be aware of the halacha, to know that, according to Rishmal, that Chelvei Shabbos Yom Yom Kippur, because the Kohanim do know. We don't have to inform. They don't have to be informed of that. Meaning that the Kohanim's reason, as we're doing from Rashi, it's not only that they're diligent, but they're also aware of the halachas. They know the halachas. Amrli Mark Shisha Breir of Chizul Ravashi Mi Amrina Kohanim's reason. Hey, is that so that we say Kohanim's reason about Tanan? We learned in the Mishnah Sholish Lahavtal Asam Melacha that they blew 21 tekiyas in the Mikdash. They blew 21 tekiyas and every Shabbos, 3 be Mavtalam and Melacha, Shlai Sholosh Lahavtal bin Kodesh L'chol. So it says that they have to be Mavtal, Lahavtal as Hamamaloch. Now they below these tekiyas in the Mikdash. Presumably, it's to inform the Kahanim that they have to now stop doing Malachim. More says, no, like it says in a different context, that it says that the siman that was made when the sun shines and the nivreshes that Hilmi Malka made on the Pesach of the Heichal to show when the Zman Krishma was, when the time was netz for time to say Krishma. So even though it was put on the Pesach of the Heichal, but that's the Sharam of Yerushalayim. The Kahanim, they said Krishma early. So it was there for the rest of the populace, for the Amud Yerushalayim. Hachanam, the Shar Amud Yerushalayim. Here also, these tekiyas, even though it was done in the Mikdash, It was for the other people. The Kohanim didn't need that. Well, if Yom Kippur falls out on Erev Shabbos, Yom Kippur has a special kula that you're allowed to trim the yerakas, the vegetables, min mincha l'mala. Now, normally you're not allowed to do it for on Yom Tov, on Shabbos, on Yom Kippur. You're not allowed to prepare for the next day. You're not allowed to be meichin l'yom chol. Or you're not allowed to prepare for the next day. Now, on Yom Kippur, they made a special kula that they can trim the vegetables to remove the outer leaves which are not edible, so that it will be ready to cook immediately after Yom Kippur. Now, even though it's preparing for after Yom Kippur, which normally would be ulcer, but over here, as the Gemara will say, we'll see shortly that since it's only permitted, it's permitted in a mincha l'mala, it's at a time where a person has agmas nefesh, he has tsar, that he's preparing this food and he can't eat from this food, so it goes into the category of inui nefesh, and therefore it's not considered, strictly speaking, a preparation only for the next day. It goes into the inui nefesh, and therefore they permitted it. So this is a din that's particularly Yom Kippur. Why don't we blow the shofar? To show that it's permitted. Now, as Rashi points out, and other Rishonim, in this case, in this particular year, when Yom Kippur falls out on Erev Shabbos, L'maisa, it's not mutter on that day, for that year, because it's only permitted that, well, because he's going to need it for cooking after the fast. And here, if it's after the fast of Shabbos, he's not going to be able to cook and use it for cooking. So it's not really for this particular year. But let me blow to show you that Knivas Yerek is mutar min mincha l'mala, and then they'll know that in other years that there is this kula, that you have this kula by Yom Kippur, and that Yom Kippur has this kula that is different than Shabbos. Meaning, just like we blow shofar on Erev Shabbos, we go from a Yom Chol to a Yom Kodesh, we blow the shofar, and to make people aware of the differences. Here also, we should blow the shofar to make them aware for that. Omer Rav Yosef, Lefi Shein Deichem Shus Lahatir. Blowing the shofar is a shus. It's an Isser D'Rabbanan. We don't blow the shofar to indicate that something is mutter. When we blow the shofar, and we blow it to indicate that things are awesome, we're not going to be matir a shvus, blowing the shofar to indicate that something is mutter, that it's mutter b'knivus yerek. That's one teretz. He says a different teretz. He says, as we mentioned, this is not negay for this year. It's negay for another year. They were only daicha ashvus for a heter that's immediate, but for something that's not negay this year, only for a different year in the future, they were not matir that shvus. Frankly, more is that so shvus kroiva hitiro, were they mat even for shvus, even for something that's kroiva, were they matir shvus? I got on Yom Tov shechal yeser Shabbos. If Yom Tov falls out on Erev Shabbos, taking v'loy mavdilin, they blow the shofar, but they don't make Havdalah. Like we mentioned, Havdalah, you make Havdalah from a day of greater Kedusha to lesser Kedusha. So you don't make Havdalah from Yom Tov, you don't make Havdalah from Yom Tov to Shabbos. When you bamerk the day, the Kedusha of Shabbos, it's done with the Kiddush that you make on Shabbos. There's no Havdalah if Yom Tov falls out on Erev Shabbos. But you do blow the shofar. You're going from a day of lesser Kedusha to greater Kedusha. Motzei Shabbos, if Yom Tov falls out on Motzei Shabbos, Mavdilin, you're Mavdil because you're Mavdil, you separate from the day, the greater Kedusha Shabbos to Yom Tov, but you're not taking. Well, why don't you blow the shofar to inform the people. If you're telling me that you're Deicha Shus and you would blow the shofar, to tell me a Heter Kula, why don't you blow the shofar, so that people should know that the day of Shabbos was also B'Shchita, but immediately after Shabbos they can now Shech. They have this mutter to Shech for Yont L'Mechavartek Rav Yosef. The Mechavartek Rav Yosef that were not Deicha Shus Lahatir. We don't Deicha and Yisrael Rabbanan to inform people of something that's mutter. We do it to inform them of something which is awesome. Amar Rav Zera, Amar Rav Huna, Pamela, Amar Rav Yava, Amar Rav Huna, Yom Kippur Shechaliyas b'Shabbos. If Yom Kippur falls on Shabbos, also be Knivas Yerek. Now, even though we said on Yom Kippur they're matter, there's Knivas Yerek, but not if Yom Kippur falls out on Shabbos. Amar Ramana, Tana Minayin Yom Kippur Shechaliyas b'Shabbos shall also be Knivas Yerek. How do we know that Yom Kippur that falls out on Shabbos, that it's also B'Knivas Yerek? Talmud Loimer Shabbos in Shus. It says that Shabbos is a day where you have to not do malach, where you have to desist from doing certain activities. So Lamai, what is this Shus referring to? If you mean that it's mamish one of the malachas, one of the lamates malachas, it says already know we have a law that you cannot perform any malach. So according to this brisa, that the limud is that there are certain activities which, even though they're not malachas, they're still aser. And they're also midaraisa, and this is the way Rashi learns it. Other Rishonim learn differently. Taisus learns it as a smachta, but the way Rashi learns that there are activities which are deraisa, and one of them is knivas yerek is included in this, which means that it's also to do minhat Torah knivas yerek, trimming of the vegetables on Shabbos. So if Yom Kippur falls out on Shabbos, therefore it's also knivas yerek is mutter. What about regular Yom Kippur? It also says Shabbosan by Yom Kippur. So Rashi explains that the Shabbosan that it says by Yom Kippur is to desist from the activities that interfere with the Inui. Not referring to activities of certain work, of certain type of activities involving certain types of labor. That's what the reference on Yom Kippur to the Shabbosan is. So, but on Shabbos is referring to certain types of activities of labor. Included in that is Knivas Yerek. Therefore, it's an Isser D'Oraisa, and Knivas Yerek is also if Yom Kippur falls out on Shabbos. He says no, that it's muter b'Knivas Yerek. That it's not also. Also be Knivas Yerek, time of Lem Shabbos and Shvus Lamai, Elimel Malach Hakvak, Siv Lo Yisas Kol Malach, Elah b'Knivas Yerek. So isn't the Shvus coming to teach you this by Knivas Yerek? Loyla Malach. It's not referring to these types of activities. It's referring to genuine malachas, things that are included in the Lomates malachas. You told me that there's a lav for that already. The lav or lab, it's included an extra essay. If a person does a malacha, there's a loisas, and he's also over the essay. But knivas yerek is not included in that. Tanya Kavasid Rav Yochanan Yom Kippur Shechaliyos b'Shabbos muter b'Knivas Yerek. It's muter b'Knivas Yerek. V'amruchi b'Rav Amar Rav Yochanan Yom Kippur Shechaliyos b'Chol mefatzim be'egoizim u'mefarchasim b'Rimayim. He says when it falls on a chol, you similarly can do trimming of other types of things. You can remove the shells from egoizim and from Rimayim, the peels from Rimayim. Min mincha u'lamala. From the mincha mibnei agmas nefesh, you can do it because of agmas nefesh, as we explained, because a person can't eat, and he has this food and he's preparing somewhat the food, and he can't eat, and therefore it increases his tar. So therefore, it's included in the inui of the day that you're supposed to be ma'aneh. This parcel of the inui of the day. So therefore, meaning, even if we say that, according to Rav Yochanan, the Shabbosan is not referring to Knivas Yerek, and therefore there's no malach, but it's still aser, midorabanan, to prepare from Yom Tov, from Yom Kippur, from Shabbos to Chol, to prepare for the next day. It's still also prepare for the next day. So why should the Knivas Yerek be mutter? No, because it's not considered preparing for the next day, because it's part and parcel of the Inoi of today. So if Yom Kippur falls out on Shabbos, yes, he's preparing it for after Yom Kippur, for after Shabbos, but he's also big ma'ane, it's part and parcel of the Inoi of the day. So it's considered like he's being Isaac, he's doing it for today. So therefore, it's more to the Rabbana did not answer it. The Bei Rabbi Yehuda Mekan V'Karb, they used to trim the cabbage. The Bei Rabba Gade Kari, pumpkins. But cave into Chazal to come Mecharfi, but they saw that people started doing it too early. They were doing it before Mincha at a time when there wasn't Agmas Nefesh. Amar Lahu Asa Igrasam in Ma'arava. He said a letter came from Eretz Yisrael, Mishmeid Rav Yochanan, and the name of Rav Da'alser. He wanted to give it an authority, so he said this letter came that said it's also so that they would listen to him. Hadralach ve'elok sharam, hadralach ve'elok sharam, hadralach ve'elok sharam. Kol kisvei kodesh masul noisan v'nei adleika.